What's up, folks? Welcome to another episode of Watching Paint Dry here on Another Letdown. My name is Zach from Another Letdown Media, and this is the show where we hang out long after we should have thought about going to bed on a Saturday night and work through the ridiculous backlog of miniatures we've accumulated that need painting. There's an old adage that says if a miniatures painter ever runs out of projects to paint, he or she will die, so we're just trying to stave off death for as long as we possibly can. And I don't do this alone. Joining me on the line, as always, my perennial painting partner, our resident monkey handler, it's Broody Gambit. Mike, how's it going?
It's going great. Glad to be back.
Yeah.
Days off.
Yeah, we had to sort of force ourselves into hiatus. Last week, I got really, really sick, and just my doctor was like, you need to sleep. Like, go to sleep. And I was in bed by like 8. So, and then the week before that, I don't even remember what was going on. Probably a work week or something like that. Who even knows? But so it's been a minute, but we're back. And we've accumulated even more miniatures that need painting, as I will get into in just a second here. I haven't bothered with the overlays or anything yet, so we're kind of fighting with that. Broody's video quality isn't as it should be. That might be my internet connection. I have no idea, but we're doing the best we can. So we'll get the best capture we can for you. Fortunately, we're both starting on new projects. Well, new is an interesting word, but Broody's starting on a new project, so he's using a lot of like gross color, large area sort of stuff, and I'm just picking up kind of where I left off. We'll get into that in a second. As with all the shows that we host here on the channel, we believe in civil rights for absolutely everyone and in being as inclusive as possible, so any comments or activity actively working against that goal are not welcome and will not be tolerated. Let's paint. I am working on, well, this is, like I said, the overlays are not done yet. I will do that now, but I'm working on some Chaos Dwarfs.
Hurrah.
Yeah. So I will fix that by doing this. Where is it? There's that. Various and sundry Chaos Dwarfs, and you are doing Star Wars Shatterpoint. Some dude. Some guy.
Yep.
Some guy that I've never heard of. Actually, I probably have, and I'm just not thinking of it, but here we are. All right. Boy, I really wish I knew what was going on with your video capture. Change buffer? No, that doesn't do it.
I was about to say on my screen, the internet, like on the video or whatever, looks crystal clear, perfect.
Yeah, mine does too on mine, but it's coming through really grainy on yours. So I'm not really sure. I'll just see what happens if I do this.
Yeah, yours looks crystal clear on mine as well.
That's really weird. Here's what I'm gonna try and do. I'm just gonna cut back to the face cam, and I'm gonna end the call and rejoin. Just give me a second. Come on. No, nothing. All right. Well, we'll just deal with it, and I'll troubleshoot it later. It looks fine. I mean, it's fine. It's just.
Would you like me to re?
You could try that.
Okay.
Go ahead. I might it'll look a little weird for a second, so I'll just do this. To be fair, it has been like storming and stuff, windy and all sorts of nonsense. Yeah, it's the same. It could be any number of things, really. So we're just not going to worry about it. It's good enough. It's just not perfect.
Yeah.
So at PAX Unplugged, I picked up a couple of Chaos Dwarf characters for Blood Bowl. These are the new resin ones. Pretty excited about them. They look pretty dope. And this one in particular, whose name is escaping me at the moment, I have honestly no idea what he's called. as he's holding a blunderbuss. He's holding a hail shot blunderbuss, and that reminded me very strongly that I need to finish the blunderbussman that he will be part of. Turns out he does rank up quite nicely with the other Chaos Dwarfs that I have, which are definitely not 3D printed in any way, I promise.
I lost audio for you, Zach.
Oh, oops.
Oh wait, now I can hear you.
Okay. So I was just talking about how the resin Chaos Dwarf that I picked up, or one of them at PAX Unplugged, ranks up quite nicely with the ones that I definitely didn't 3D print, I promise. And he's going to become part of my blunderbuss squad for Warhammer the Old World. And I don't remember how they go together, but it's not important at this moment. So I have a total of, I believe, 10 of them now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, I only have 9. So I'm still short 1. I thought I had 10. Maybe I'm just insane. I guess I'm just insane. But that's fine. I can always print another one. I mean, I can always buy another one. Don't sue me, Games Workshop. So yeah, I want to finish these. I've also got Hthark the Unstoppable over here. Big old bull centaur. Not going to be using him for the Old World games because he is slightly smaller than the bull centaurs from Forge World. For the Old World, so he's Blood Bowl only. But I do have a packet of or a box of Blood Bowl Chaos Dwarfs as well that will be, once I can get my hands on some plastic cement, then I will be building those as well. So that's what I'm working on tonight. I was going to work on Blade, have him bopping around too. I might throw some base coat down on him at some point, but I just really want to get these Chaos Dwarfs out of my eye line. There's altogether too many of them, and they've been sitting there for way too long. So we're gonna do that. Let's see where that takes us. I guess I'm gonna start with some glove color. So I need like a leather. Oh my god, driftwood brown. No, that's too. Oh, matte brown. That'll work. Normally, I would not use the TT Combat paints for these because I've done the whole rest of the army with exclusively GW paints, but I'm absolutely sick to death of GW paints, so. Oh, there's my plastic cement. Literally right in front of me. I'm a dummy. I was looking for this all last night. I was like, where is my plastic glue? Right in front of me. You know what we call that?
Learning and growing?
Learning and growing.
Do I like that? I think I do.
So I'm going to mix this matte brown with a little bit of driftwood brown. Let's see if that gets us the right color we're looking for. For gloves, leather gloves. So I saw you and Sammy talking about something Arkham related to this week. What were you guys up to?
They finally spoiled Michael McGlenn.
Oh, dang. All right.
From the new set. Like, we've known he was coming out because you could see him on like the box art that they debuted a while back, but they hadn't like shown his card and stuff yet. So
okay,
we were just chatting about that now that he released, or not released, but spoiled.
Yeah.
So
what are we thinking so far?
Absurdly good. Sammy was saying he was probably going to be the best fighter in the game.
Nice. That's a very Sammy play. I'll get into that in a second. Carry on.
So, his stat line, as opposed to most other rogues, so there's like a handful, but his willpower is a 3, which is much higher than most rogues are 1 or 2s.
1 or 2, yeah.
Which keeps him safe from a lot of encounter cards.
Yep.
because that's generally unless you're casting spells, that's where you're going to be using your willpower stat a lot, is dealing with the encounter deck. So, and that's always been like a problem with rogues, is being prepared to deal with the encounter deck.
Yeah. They always struggle when it comes time for.
But he seems to be able to handle it a little bit better than most. His investigate, his intelligence is a 2, which is not surprising.
No, that's because he'd rather have other people do that for him.
Yeah. His agility is a 3 as well, I believe.
Okay, so right up the middle.
Yep, and then his brawn is a 5.
Oh wow, okay. So he wants to get into it.
Yeah, so like Mark Harrigan, a lot of the really dedicated fighters, that's kind of, if you're dedicated to do a certain task, you tend to have a 5 in that stat.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's his stat line. His deck building is I don't think it's all rogue cards, because he's the rogue character, obviously.
Right, yeah.
I think it's like 0 to 3 rogue cards, but he can have 0 to 5 firearms.
Oh jeez.
Like
oh my god, I love that.
Anything with a firearm trait or firearm in the in the text. He can take level 0 to 5.
That's awesome. So he's just packing heat then.
Pretty much. His signature item is his viola case.
Yep.
Which is an accessory that gives him 2 hand slots for firearms.
Oh my god, he can dual wield Becky's. No.
He can like have 4 guns at that point in time, essentially.
That's so good.
And not to mention, it's a accessory slot for the viola, so he could still get a bandolier.
Oh my god.
Actually, no, I don't think he can get a bandolier. But anyway, his ability is anytime he spends ammo from a from a firearm,
yep,
he can move it to his resource pool as a resource, which gets past the problem that like he's gonna have to spend a lot of money on guns, and then they're gonna run out of ammo, and he's gonna need to replace them, and so that kind of solves that problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you pair that with what I was saying was the 45 Thompson,
yep,
does the same exact thing. So you could essentially, for every shot fired with the 45 Thompson, get two resources back.
Oh my god, that's so good.
And then to top it all off, his weakness is just a joke.
Is it?
Yeah. It, like, I can understand why it might be considered bad, but I don't think it really is if you really think about it. So it's called confiscation, and all it does is it shuffles all of his firearms back into his deck that are in play. Which I consider, with all the card draw that Rogue has, that's just getting a chance to reload them.
I was going to say, that's just a reload.
Yeah. Like, that's not a bad
that's
thing
not
at
bad.
all.
You want that.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want it turned like 2 or 3 when you're still getting set up, but like late game, if you pair that with like a Gloria Goldberg who's just messing with people's decks,
yeah,
that's just broken.
I would just say, like, keep at least one firearm in hand.
Yep.
To replace when that happens, and then you're ready to go.
And then you're just ready to go again.
Drawing, yeah.
Yeah. And you want to kind of, closely manage your weapon, your resource pool too, but like,
yeah.
If you're just, every time you're taking a shot, you're adding resources anyway, so you're gonna have the resources to replay the guns. Yeah, that's laughable.
Now, I think the restriction on his getting resources back is like once per firearm per round.
Okay, whatever.
So if he's like, if you have like multiples in play, you just use different ones to do different things.
Right. Wow, that's insane. So here's my, as the perennial, I have fallen into my niche. This is where I was going to go with this. I've fallen into my niche as an investigator. Like I am a seeker at heart. That's what I want to be doing. I don't like casting spells. I will happily fight. That's not an issue. But I'm most happy when I am a Seeker. Mm-hmm. That said, the best deck I've ever run was Tommy Muldoon. I loved playing Tommy Muldoon. And part of that was the signature weapon. You know, he has Becky. So I want, with all the rogue cards available to you, how likely is it for us to see is it Michael McGlenn? Is that who we're talking about? Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought so, but I wanted to double check. How likely is it that we see Michael McGlenn stealing Becky and just abusing Becky?
I don't think Becky would be abused otherwise. Like her ability requires Tommy's innate ability.
Does it?
Yeah, because it's when with Tommy, when a asset you control gets defeated, you get to add the damage or health to the to Tommy as resources.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Becky reloads off of Tommy's. Okay. Yeah, that's true. But I wonder if there's a way to bounce it back and forth, like to just juggle Becky around.
Technically, with the rules, you like an investigator signature weapon cannot be used by any other player.
Oh, that sucks.
Like, okay. Like it's actually in the rules. Like it would just automatically be discarded if something moved it. So even there are certain cards that are like let another player play an asset out of your hand.
Yeah.
That like some I think rogues and
yeah, it's
like blue like Guardians have a teamwork card that lets you swap items.
Yeah, that's that's what I'm thinking of, teamwork.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure like they already specified in the rules that you can't do that with signature items.
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
Let us take things, cowards. Come on.
Yeah. I will say, however, there is a new card that they announced that, for all intents and purposes, what it does is it pretty much just says look through your entire collection.
Collection?
And pull a card out and like ignoring deck building restrictions and add it to your hand. Yeah.
Okay, there's some degenerate stuff you can do with that.
Yes, I'm just like, that's something you have to like plan for and just like have it ready. Like I don't want to come across a game and then literally be like, oh, which card do I want, and have to like
you have, that's where you sideboard stuff. You're like, okay, these are the valid options. Like limit yourself to X number of them.
Yeah. But likewise, there's also one that lets you swap essentially swap your investigator. You trade the front of your investigator card with someone else's, so you replace all your stats and your abilities and Elder Sign ability and everything else with another investigator that you own.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So just everybody is Joe Diamond.
I don't know if Joe Diamond would actually be useful.
No, I'm just picking a name.
Yeah. Like, Joe Diamond, his ability with his signature deck is, like, it once again, specific to him.
Yeah.
That you don't get your, you don't get the deck building parts in the back where you gotta pull a hunch deck. Joe Diamond is really a useless one to use that on.
Yeah, he doesn't make any sense.
Which is a shame.
Yeah.
Because he's awesome.
You know, as much as he's my favorite investigator, I still have yet to play with him. Like, Sammy grabbed him before I did. But I think that was also an agreed upon thing. Like, we were like, okay, no. This is where we need to start playing with characters who are not our favorites.
Yeah. I just ran through, not too long ago, Scarlet Keys with Joe Diamond.
Yep.
Which sounds like he'd be great. That campaign is literally hard coded to be anti Joe Diamond.
Ugh.
Like, it is so rough.
That is so that campaign came out right around the same time as my daughter, so I have not played it yet. That one, and we had to stop. I don't think we played Innsmouth.
Innsmouth is great.
Yeah, I've heard Innsmouth's really, really good. I like the problem is, so when we moved, I'm now, an hour and a half from Alex's house, and on a good day, and like, yeah, I could drive to collectibles. I have the store I got. I have keys to the store. I can open at any time, but I don't want to. Like, I'm home and I'm happy, and my kid and my wife are here. like, so if I'm gonna play, I don't really want to drive to the store anymore. I just want to drive to either someone's house or stay here, which really hampers my ability to play Arkham Horror.
Yeah.
Oh wait, what is that? It's a bag now. Don't care. And I also, like, schedule wise, I can't commit to, being anywhere with the regularity necessary to play a long campaign.
Yeah.
Lately I've been playing a bunch of Mothership, which is a TTRPG with Trevor, our buddy. And that's been a lot of fun. But that's not, like, we play like once every few months. Like, it's not, I happen to have played the same character in both of our games so far, but that is by no means necessary. I'm also the only one who's survived both games. It's funny coming at tabletop RPGs with knowledge of, like, other TTRPGs. So I approach everything now with the perspective of Call of Cthulhu. Like, I don't want to get into combat. If I'm in combat, I've done something wrong. Which really annoys, like, conventional Dungeons and Dragons DMs, because combat is such an integral part of that, where I would rather just roleplay my way out of things and rely on other statistics. I've even going as far as to build characters where strength and dexterity are dump stats. Again, much to the annoyance of dungeon masters who want to run combat. But we were playing Mothership the other day, and once again I made a character who does not, like, he doesn't even carry a weapon. He's like, nope, I do diplomacy, I do my job, and I get out of there. And resultantly, I don't know if that's a word, I was the only one who survived. Because as soon as the team got into combat, I'm just like, nope, finding a place to hide. I'm not going to help you here. My job is X, Y, and Z. I've done X, Y, and Z. It's time to call the lift. What do you mean, RPD? Because that on some level that seems very similar to what I just said. Like, I'm running contrary to what literally everybody else is doing. Also, hello. How are you? Okay, yeah. All right. So just pushing buttons. But that, like, yeah, that's definitely a me thing as well, and I think that's why you and I get along so well, is like pushing on things that shouldn't be pushed on is kind of very much something I'm interested in doing. I think that's why Trevor invites me to play too. He knows I'll do that kind of thing. Especially where he's running the game and can't do it himself. Oh yeah, well, there's brown done.
Yellow.
Oh no. Oh hey, your video quality just like dramatically improved.
That's good.
For no reason. Must have been.
It's because I'm painting with yellow, and it like the computer knows that yellow sucks, and they're like, "Ooh, gotta show him messing with this because it's gonna be terrible."
Yeah. All right, what's next? Gold, I guess. And this one I will use Citadel for because there's a very specific shade of copper, actually, that I will be using. If I can find it. Where are you? Where's anything anymore? I don't even know. Who authorized this anyway? So I seem to have finally amassed enough financial capital to start wheedling down my list of computer parts that I need to purchase.
That's good.
Yeah. And then I just can't bring myself to do it. Is this the right one? Oh god, it's been that long since I painted Chaos Dwarfs, I can't remember. It's not how to shoot copper. That doesn't exist. Is it Brass Scorpion? Boy, I hope so. I think the difference is that I try to have one foot in on the game I'm actually playing. Like, can I combine these two things rather than can I play this other game instead? Oh, but that's not what I mean either, RPD. Like, I'm not. I know I'm not playing Call of Cthulhu when we're playing Mothership. I'm just applying knowledge from Call of Cthulhu. Oh, that was a brand new container. To a game that I'm just starting. Like, I'm also applying knowledge from Sentinels. I'm applying knowledge from D&D, of course. Like I'm learning. I'm learning and growing is exactly what I'm doing. No, it's not one more black brass. Okay, that's not it. Yeah, I'm very much trying to combine things. Very much. But just trying to apply knowledge. I'm combining knowledge more than elements. Which I think that's the difference, really. All right, well, we're using Brass Scorpion. Oh yeah, no, that's right. Okay, never mind. Once I got the pot open, I could see what I was doing. Imagine that. I'll do 2 waves of Brass Scorpion here. We'll start here and see where that takes us. thinks that Null and Oil is going to do some heavy lifting here.
Oh no, always does heavy lifting.
I mean, you're right.
Where's mine? There it is.
It's interesting the different applications of Null and Oil too. Like when I did Patsy, it forced me to do another yellow layer that actually ended up making her look really, really good. And kind of informed where I was going to put the deep black highlight or black lowlights as well, which I did not expect. Shockingly little of the amount of the actual total or sum total of Null and Oil that I put on that mini ended up showing up strongly in the final result. But what is there and what you can see is actually really important. Where most of the time it's just doing a lot of baseline work as far as inking is concerned. If I'm playing the non-combat character in an action story, I'm not going to dig my heels in and refuse. No, of course not. Yeah. Right, yeah, right. I'm going to do the objective. My turns are spent either playing a mini game or assisting you somehow, and occasionally I'm going to try and be the escort mission. Right, that's, yeah. And I was definitely speaking hyperbolically when I said I just sat there. No, of course I didn't just sit there. I wasn't going to be detrimental to the team, but I'm going to be the voice of, oh, hey, combat may not be our best option here. But I do remember genuinely thinking, RPD would be proud of me in this situation. Like, definitely doing something unique here. Chaos Dwarfs really are bizarre little duders. It's been so long since I've painted these. Like, regular dwarfs I can kind of paint in my sleep. Chaos Dwarfs, even though I've done way more of them well than I have regular dwarfs, I still like have to think about what I'm doing. Next. So they just announced a couple of new, a couple of annual Comic-Cons around me. And they're Dirt Mall style, my favorite. The ones where it's just a bunch of old men who don't really care about buying or selling comics, just sitting down and talking about comics for hours. Exactly the kind of shows that I want to be at. Low pressure environments, cool back issues. Things I can't afford but can be like, ooh, that's pretty.
Yeah.
One of them has a couple of good artist guests too. more modern stuff, mostly stuff I don't give a rat's dude or maker about, but my buddies do, so I'm always there for that. Try to be supportive. And it's on my birthday weekend, which is kind of convenient.
That's always fun.
Yeah, be a good excuse to get out of the house. And then there's a I got the most. So one of the guys I go comic hunting and game hunting and stuff with, we call him T-Dubs. His name is Tim Waugh, so the nickname kind of sticks. But T-Dubs, like, he's very food motivated and tries to hide it really well.
Okay.
So he texts me right as I'm putting my daughter down for her nap. Hey, when Raising Cane's opens up in Manchester, I want to make a video game day trip thing so we can have an excuse to go. I'm like, T-Dubs, why don't you just say, hey, when Raising Cane's opens up, let's go to Raising Cane's. He's like, whoa, I was trying to be. I was like, dude, you're not hiding anything, buddy. It's okay. You can say, hey, I want to go to Raising Cane's. Yes, RPD. That is. Cane's? It's chicken place, fried chicken, like chicken fingers, and it's very, very good. They have one right outside my favorite music venue in Boston. So every time we go down, we just house a bunch of chicken fingers and then go to the concert. It's great. And RPD, yeah, since you're trying to find differences, yeah, your combination's definitely a little more out there than mine, but I do still believe that we do have some RPG commonality, I guess is the word. Weird. But here we are.
Now the real question is, how many layers of yellow am I going to have to do to get this to look smooth?
100.
I hope not.
Me too. Truth, RPD. RPD, I was this close to starting the game you played, that you gave me for Christmas this year last night. I was like, sitting on the couch, being like, man, what am I going to do? Because it was too late to stream, and I wasn't, like, as much as I love Final Fantasy Rebirth, I'm at a point where I just need to dedicate some time. And didn't have it. But I came in here and promptly forgot what I was going to do. I heard the gibbous whispers, yeah. I ended up rearranging a Crash Test Dummies song on my guitar. Which is not an altogether... I wouldn't call it a waste of my time. It was an interesting musical study on something that doesn't need to be musically studied. Which I maintain you would have approved of as well. I was thinking to myself, what if Crash Test Dummies but ska? You have to admit the time periods are right.
Yep.
No, more than that, RPD, since headline news performed by Crash Test Dummies exists, we have seen peak Crash Test Dummies. The expressions that Brad is making during that performance is so funny. And the fact that Ellen can't stop laughing. Good stuff. Very good stuff. I do like the Crash Test Dummies quite a lot. I think they had a lot of interesting thoughts on a lot of interesting things, and
I never really listened to them. Like I know the name, but I don't really know any.
You'd know if you heard it.
Yeah, but I'm sure that would be the case at least, but
yeah,
like I couldn't call out any of their names. Songs.
Yeah, I grew up listening. So that song came out on a record called "God Shuffled His Feet," and that was one of the cassette tapes in my dad's truck growing up. And I think it was down to the fact that it was the most colorful of my dad's cassettes. It was in the tray a lot. So I ended up knowing way more of their songs than I probably ought to have. You want to do an A to Z, so like one game of each letter RPD, is that what that means? So I listened to an awful lot of Crash Test Dummies, and then of course when headline news came out, my awareness of them was sort of reinvigorated. I shouldn't say when it came out, when it came across when it came across my consciousness, because I think it was out before I was aware of who Weird Al was, or most certainly the Dr. Demento show. So I know them better than I ought to, and the song that I've been poking around with is the Ballad of Peter Pumpkinhead, which is actually a cover. I just particularly like their version of it. It's just one of those songs that like I I feel like there's more to be done in that sonic space, but I am certainly not the one to do it. As not really a student of music and more just a musical enthusiast who can play with some proficiency. I was telling my wife at dinner, like, I don't like calling myself a musician, really. Mm-hmm. Or and I don't like calling what I do practicing, because I'm not really learning anything. I'm just kind of going over things that I know when I play guitar. Like, I can rehearse, you know, if I know I'm performing a certain song at a certain event or something like that. That's rehearsal, but I feel like practice involves learning something new, and doing it over and over again, where I have musical ADHD. Like, I prefer not to play the same thing over and over again and get really, really good at it. Where some songs I'm just like, oh, you know, this is actually something I kind of want to explore and see what I can change, what I can rearrange and redo. And that's what I've been doing with Peter Pumpkinhead. I'm just like, what if this but ska? What if this but pop punk? What if this but, you know, this? And it's been a fun experiment. I texted my recording, or my he's a musical engineer buddy yesterday. He hasn't got back to me, but I'm interested to see if he wants to put some of my ideas to tape is the wrong phrase, but you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
You already got N and you're working on J. Jeez, man. I'm just struggling to find time to play Rebirth. That's not saying much. I don't have much time. Full stop. Although Guacamelee 2 has been absolutely hilarious. Like, way more challenging than the first game, but like way funnier than the first game too. Which is a shame, because I haven't had much time to play it. My streams have been pretty well, and I was already working on late December. Are you not doing it in order, RPDs? Like, you're not starting with A, you're just doing one of each letter? Oh, okay. All right. That makes more sense. Like, it's January, bro. You're gonna finish that by by the end of the month. What are some of the ones you've like earmarked? Ni no Kunai. Yeah. Cool. That makes sense. Actually, one of the ones I would have guessed. Jeanne d'Arc. Yeah, good. Yep, good one. That's one I've been meaning to play for a while, actually. I'll be interested to hear what you think. Can I suggest one for M? Mortimer and the Riddles of the Medallion. I have no idea where you'll find a copy of that game, but it's awesome. It's about a giant flying snail. Yeah, there's good stuff on PSP. As the guy who never had one, I should know. Lots of good stuff on PSP. It's actually one of the systems that I've been considering picking up. at some point here.
There was Mega Man X Maverick Hunters.
Yes, there was.
I never played that one because I never had a PSP.
Mm.
I just accidentally bought it one day because I didn't realize it was a PSP game.
Oh,
it was
no.
just the Sony store.
Yeah.
But I called or emailed and was like, hey, yo, I did a dumb. And they just took it out of my library and refunded me.
Nice. That's lucky.
Which is odd. They explicitly say that they don't do that for digital content, but I explained that I was just like, I didn't realize that this was a PSP game, and they're like, okay.
Nice. I like the form factor of the PSP. I really do. PlayStation or Sony, for all that they do right first party games wise, I never, up until PS5, I never really liked the form factor of any of their stuff. It just never was comfortable other than the PSP.
I was about to say, I think at least they think that they got the controller for the PlayStation, right? They haven't changed it in 30 years.
So they did. The PS5 is the thumbsticks are spaced slightly further apart than PS4 and before.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually is 1,000 times more comfortable for me now. And dare I say more comfortable than Xbox. Alpha Protocol. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. So how about all these Switch 2 rumors?
I haven't been paying attention. I haven't heard anything.
Oh my god. The floodgates are open, my friend. Like, we know basically everything about the console at this point.
Okay.
So Nintendo, what's been going on is Nintendo is trying really hard to buck the scalper market. They're trying to have enough units on hand that it doesn't, like, the scalpers aren't going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Which I tremendously respect. I think that's a great idea. I don't think that's how I'd go about doing it. I think there are better ways. But
what are they doing?
They're just manufacturing a poop load of them.
Okay.
And when you have the second best selling console of all time in the Switch 1, I guess you can kind of do that, right? Like, you can predict some level of demand.
Yeah.
And
you don't have the Wii problem,
right,
with the Switch.
Right. You're not announcing innovative technology off a commercial flop. Sorry, GameCube, love you, but you were a commercial flop.
Well, no. Also, the fact that the Wii, it wasn't just like innovative and coming off of that, but it appealed to non-traditional gamers. So there was lots of elderlies buying it, lots of like parents for really young kids that would not be the type of people who would move on to the next generation when they made the Wii U.
Right.
And then they kind of did that same sort of fumble where they thought that they'd sell a whole lot more because of they were looking at the sales of the Wii and
right.
Like
you're saying Wii to Wii U.
That.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, correct. So in doing so, they've had to start production long before announcing the console, meaning that everyone and his mom has a chance to leak it. Also, they've to meet demand, they've had to release like dimensions and stuff and power and stuff like that to third-party hardware manufacturers who are just like, well, you guys are taking forever to announce this. We need to get the advertising train rolling. We're going to announce it ourselves. And, consequences be damned. Like,
yeah.
Genki just straight up was like, we have it. Here it is. Like, now they definitely got the hammer dropped on them. They had to leave the Consumer Electronics show that they were at this week early, like 2 days earlier than planned. They just packed up their booth and left. And I think that the Nintendo sicked the ninjas on them, but regardless of that, like, damage done, you know?
Yeah.
So like, we know that the Joy-Cons have a magnet in them. We know, like, and a lot of this stuff can be confirmed by like shipping manifests, which is public information.
Yeah.
We know that there's an optical sensor in the side of the Joy-Con, lending us to hypothesize that there's a mouse in the side of the Joy-Con.
Huh.
Which I think is dope. Like, Mario Paint reboot? Yes, please. I'll play that. With my kid.
Don't lie, you'd play that by yourself.
I would absolutely play it with myself too. That is the God's honest truth. But like, Nintendo's just now the Department of Damage Control. Like, they got nothing. So, I don't know. There's some, I don't think Switch 2 is, like, from a power level, it needs to happen. Like, Switch is, when it came out, was already underpowered. And we know that going into it, Switch 2 is going to be underpowered by comparison. It's not going to compete with the PS5 or the Xbox Series X. Like, and why should it? It doesn't have to. At the end of the day, it's still a handheld.
Yeah.
Oh, that was weird. What in the world? Oy. A particularly vinegary part of my kombucha just, like, fell down the side of my mouth. What are you thinking for F? Well, let me ponder this with you. RPD.
So RPD's doing a video game for each letter.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. I'm really into that idea. Oh, okay. Well, fair enough. Let me know when you're ready to talk about it, because that's definitely something I'm interested in. Oh dear. Oh dear. I have to bust out the... Nope, not Cantor Blue. Not Iron Hands, whatever. Lead Belcher. There it is. I guess while I've got this out, I might as well... Oh, uh-oh. What happened?
What's up?
Well, it looks like my Lead Belcher didn't close last time. Now it's a little gummy.
Right
It's not the end of the world. Like, I've got tons of metallic paint, but, yeah, it's fine. Just need a little extra shake. No big deal. All right.
I realized I misjudged where I should be painting Zeb's gauntlets.
Oh no.
Mostly because, like, I left some parts unpainted because I thought that they were part of his gauntlets, but really they were just like the mold lines of assembly.
Oh no.
So it's like, oh no, I just needed to. It's like, oh, this is just a joint where I glued in his arm.
Yeah.
But it should all be his arm. It's not part of his gauntlet.
Right.
So having to go over real quick and just touch up that little bit. Not a big deal.
I was doing a little double check on the Lead Belcher while I got it out. I actually might do some of the blunderbusses themselves with it as well. I didn't think I was going to need reference images today, but I might actually end up using some. I can't help but think I painted one blunderbusman before. And it's driving me nuts, because I went to the store, I was like, where's my other blunderbusman? And he's not there. So maybe I'm just imagining it. Okay, kombucha time. Yes, Blink, it is indeed kombucha time. Cheers. I got the Peach Paradise tonight. How you doing? Okay, fair enough, RPD. Yeah. Okay. I can go back to TT Combat for a minute here. Because it's gray time. Just a gray. Dark gray. Yeah, Shadowling gray, that'll work. So my kid's in this very, like, cuddly, just want to sit and read phase. And I'm loving it. Like, the librarian in me is just on cloud 9. Yes, I have to read the same books over and over and over and over again, but she just lies on my belly and snuggles with me and holds her blankie, and we just read all day long, and it's the best. Oh. Just got a voice message from someone I haven't talked to in like a bajillion years. We'll look at that off stream. All right, you know what? I'm just gonna paint it on. See what happens. So there's part of me that wants to just like, once these models are more or less done, just slop a bunch of the some of the Green Stuff World technical dust paint on them, and just let them be dirty.
Yeah,
because they're blunderbusmen and they're dealing with black powder and stuff. Or actually, it's warp shard powder. Chaos dwarfs are so weird. They're, you know, dwarfs hate magic, right? That's kind of their defining characteristic. Where chaos dwarfs are just like, sure, magic, but also what if explode? And I think that's a riot.
The best kind of magic.
Yeah. So with this gray on their beards, and this is something I started doing a long, long time ago, it's like, because it's beard and it's sort of inconsistent, I just sort of slop it on. I don't really pay it, like, as long as I'm hitting the beard, it doesn't really matter if I'm getting full coverage out of it. I'm just kind of looking to get a little bit different color in there before I put the Nuln oil down.
So you already have like a brown or a black for the beard.
It's black. Kind of yeah. Chaos, with regular dwarfs, I usually do a brown. But with chaos dwarfs, it's almost always black, because they're gross, they're old, they're nasty, they're evil. Like, sometimes I'll even, like, I have one guy, Foaming Mad Ferguson, I call him, or I guess is actually his name. His beard is actually on fire.
Lovely.
Right? He's just gross. And you know, these guys will all get a healthy smearing of blood for the blood god at some point too. That's something I was considering with Blade as well. Like, he's on my workbench now. You know, his swords are absolutely going to have some blood for the blood god. His mouth, because he's a vampire, will certainly have some blood for the blood god stainage around as well. It's basically what I'm doing with the beards is just pre-dry brushing.
Mm-hmm.
Expecting that I will be doing some level of dry brushing with them later. I did, leveraging the power of Blue Sky, the social network, I was able to finally procure the Chaos Dwarf rules that had been gone missing, that I was moaning about weeks ago. Someone had them, and was able to send them to me. So I look forward to playing Warhammer the Old World with my Chaos Dwarfs very soon. When are we finishing In Sync? That's a good question. Broody and I have not talked about that, although perhaps we ought to, since we are both here. That's definitely a Friday stream. We do have Arkham coming up on the 31st. And I gotta prepare for that. Did you saw my Agent Legrasse promo?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we have a new character joining the party, joining the fray. We'll explain more about him as we get closer. Or I guess day of, probably.
Can't get much closer than that.
Yeah, exactly. We've got two escape rooms left on In Sync?
2 or 3, I can't quite remember.
2 or 3. So we'd like, I mean, ideally I'd like to do that in one sitting. So we need a good Friday night where not a whole lot else is going on. And yeah, I thought it was 2. My wife's schedule has been a little erratic lately. She's been pulling on a lot of nights and weekends, which makes it difficult. But we need the money, so here we are. She gets a little extra if she works nights or weekends, so. And it allows me a chance to see my daughter to bed, which is always nice. But yeah, so it'll be one of these Friday nights, Blink. Broody and I will just sit down and hammer through those last 2, I think. And I do want to get Katrina playing as well, but it's being that it's only a 2-player game. What'll likely happen is I will kind of let her drive a little bit, where I know some of the solutions already.
And if you swap which character you're playing, you'll get to...
Exactly. I'll play the kid. It's the kind of game that I really hope that they put out some DLC for, a few more maps, just because it is really fun. But I can see them also just moving on to the next thing based on the fact that it is an indie game. The devs are going to want to do something different, and I'm sure it didn't, sell like gangbusters off the backs of you and me and like 4 other people playing it. But I hope it does well enough to warrant a few more levels, because it is really good.
Yeah, like I don't know coding or anything like that, so I'm not sure how feasible it would be. But having gone and played through with other friends as well, not past where we are, so like you and me are still like completely fresh.
Yeah.
But like I've gotten it for a couple of friends and have played through some of them, doing what I like, swapping. I play the older guy.
Yeah.
And in doing that, it seems like the puzzles don't ever change.
Yeah,
So
it's
before
always
it's like,
exactly the same.
yeah, it's like, which I don't know how much it would change, how hard it would be to code in
That
like
they
different
randomize,
numbers show
yeah.
up, or yeah. But it would be a neat addition if you could do that.
Absolutely, yeah, full random puzzles. Yeah, I mean that's the idea, right? That's the idea. RPD, but it's just you know, we are not finger to the pulse. We are just saying, hey, this is a great game and people should play it, and we hope people do. Similarly, I got it for Adam and Chamali as well. So. Of course, they're too busy playing Marvel Rivals.
Mm-hmm.
Which, you know, like when that game was first announced, I was like, oh, cool, Marvel game. You know, I'm in, whatever, blah blah blah. And the more I see of it, the more I'm like, this is not my kind of game at all. Like, I don't want to be playing this. Any game that requires like just grinding the same thing over and over again, Overwatch, yeah, that's not fun for me. Like, that's just Fortnite. And I don't want to do that. Like, literal zero interest. So I'm, you know, living vicariously through the people who are enjoying it, but just thinking, no, that ain't me. That's not my jam. Which is odd considering how much I love Helldivers. Like, Helldivers it's the same like core game loop, but it's different enough every drop that it's like, oh no, this is fun again. So I don't know. It's odd.
Yeah, I was about to say, a friend, like I told you a couple weeks ago, that a friend had picked up Destiny 2 for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's like I've been playing that and picking it up every so often, and over the break, like Christmas break and stuff, I ended up playing it a little bit more, kind of getting a bit further.
Yeah.
But like they just want to constantly do farming,
right?
And it's like, you want to go do a dungeon and cheese out the boss,
right?
Essentially, so you skip the dungeon and like just redo the boss fight over and over and over and over and over again until you get like the equipment that you think is the best, or
right,
whatever. Like, I'm enjoying actually going through the campaign and playing through the story and understanding what's going on, and picking up like PvP matches every so often or whatever is perfectly fine by me, but I don't really have interest of just replaying the same fight over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Like, occasionally, like maybe getting some good armor, but like it's not a completely must-have for that game. It's not like I play super competitively on the PvP side.
Yeah. We did actually a pretty good balance of everything when we were playing it. When we were streaming it, we were often playing like, it was almost always PvP, but cooperatively. Like, we were playing Gambit or
yeah. I really do like the Gambit, where it's like the mostly PvE, but you can kind of mess with the other players.
Yes, I like that one a lot.
Crucible, where it's
Crucible
like just against other people.
Yeah, Iron Banner was always fun. We would stream a lot of Iron Banner. Because again, it like if you're playing co-op with your buddies, it's like, oh, this isn't bad at all. We suck at it, and we're laughing our butts off, but here we are, I guess.
I will say I really hate when I have a quest or something that I'm trying to do, and it requires me to do a mission or a strike or something, and it forces you to get in a party of 3.
Oh my god, right.
Stuck with a random
that
is just beelining through the entire thing, not really playing the game. They're just running through to the end to get whatever loot drop and hope they get something good.
Yep.
And then I'm stuck there just fighting what I can by myself at that point in time. I'm like, just let me play by myself if that's the case.
Right. Yeah. Blueberries would do that a lot. Like we call them blueberries because they're on the mini map. They're a blue dot. And yeah, they would stuff us a lot, and it's just like this isn't fun.
And especially when some of the quests or missions that require me to do something are do X mission and get so many precision kills, or
right. And so the mission
kills, and and when they cut it short because they're just beelining through it or anything, it's I can't complete these missions, and then I have to like redo it multiple times.
Yeah. Until I find someone who's willing to, poke through it. Take it seriously. But yeah, I mean, Destiny had its ups though. We definitely played it for a lot of hours. I don't really know what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of hoping that the barrel of a weapon is lead belcher. The barrel of a firearm, I should say. And again, just kind of being a little sloppy, knowing that A, they're Chaos Dwarfs, they're meant to look a little sloppy. B, pick out a lot of the detail with gold later on. And C, Null and Oil will come through and do some heavy lifting pretty soon.
I've not used this paint in a long while.
Oh no. Taking what?
Yeah, I'm trying to mix it. And like it has a ball bearing, and it's like kind of wedged in the pigment at the bottom apparently.
Yeah.
And I can't get it to like get moving to actually mix it up.
Oh no! Ah! YouTube, why? Stop with this.
What happened?
Well, I play the music out of YouTube, and it occasionally just runs ads.
And you can't have ads?
Well, I try not to. I don't need to advertise extra stuff.
Not without getting reimbursed or paid.
Right. I mean, at least with Twitch, they do pay out every now and again.
So, Asmodee.
Yep.
Accidentally spoiled a new kit for Shatterpoint.
Oh boy. How'd they manage that?
I have no idea. It got posted onto like the Shatterpoint Facebook group or whatever because someone managed to get a hold of it and share it before I think an official announcement or anything.
Oh.
I don't know how it happened, but it somehow leaked, and so, but you know the scenic based stuff that they did for like Crisis Protocol, and they've done one for Shatterpoint, and it was like the Obi-Wan Vader from the show.
Yep.
Like, the next one, which is what got spoiled, is the I Am No Jedi pack, and it's the Ahsoka Vader fight from Rebels.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I'm kind of excited about that, except for, like, I don't want another Vader.
Yeah, we're
There are
kind of running
so many
into that
haters.
we're kind of running into that with spider people too,
Yeah.
with Crisis Protocol. Like, we don't need every spider ever,
Yeah.
especially when there are other characters that are arguably more important. I mean, Rogue and Gambit were they did all the X-Men, and we're just like, where's Gambit? Where's Nightcrawler? Where's,
Rogue and Gambit came out.
No, I know, eventually, but not
Okay.
with the first batch of X-Men. Is Nightcrawler even out yet? Like, I don't even know.
Yeah, Nightcrawler and Bishop came out. I depended them on stream like a couple months ago.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think the first wave was Cyclops.
But they gave us
Storm,
Honey
and
Badger before
Beast.
they gave us
Nightcrawler. Gambit was definitely before Honey Badger and X-23 at least.
Okay. But even so, like,
Yeah.
sorry guys.
And I just got
Gambit,
Shadowcat and Iceman for Christmas.
Oh, did you?
Mm-hmm. I haven't built them yet. I got Shadowcat, Iceman, and then the Scarlet Spider and Gwenom pack.
What an odd combination that one is.
Yeah, that was very weird. I was just, hey, I want Scarlet Spider, but it came with Gwenom, and you can't get them individually. So,
I mean, to be fair, Mike, yes, you can.
Yes,
we have them in the drive. Like, yes, you can.
Not to mention, 2 years ago or something, when I grabbed like one of the other Spider-Man. I think they call it the Spectacular Spider-Man model, and then I just green stuffed the hoodie on and made my own Scarlet Spider for that.
Right.
And at that point in time, I was just like, they're not gonna like. It's gonna be a long while before they dig deep enough to go into the 90s Scarlet Spider. If they went Scarlet Spider, I'd imagine they would do the current one that's in comics now,
right?
With like his new like the newer suit and stuff, not the awesome hoodie look,
right?
Which was great. But they surprised me and did that one.
Yeah,
yeah. Oh, I guess I'm gonna get that one too.
Yeah.
I'd rather have 2 Scarlet Spiders than 2 Spider-Men. So
right, sure. I can't say I would agree with that, but that's that's my personal bias. But I respect it,
Yeah.
And RPD making a very good point in chat, especially when Killdozer US1 and Crime Master are still to be done.
Don't forget Jack of Hearts
and Mr. Fear. Those are the 2 I'm begging C27 for right now, is Crime Master and Mr. Fear. I'm sick of all these weird modern, like, random Venom variant that appeared in one issue or has never actually appeared in an issue.
It's just like, yeah, they did the Venom universe thing.
Yeah, Venomverse. Or Venomized, or whatever the hell they're calling it. Giant waste of time, if you ask me.
Yeah, I feel like the executives of comics don't understand why certain characters in comics are popular. And so when Venom gets popular, they think, oh, Venom's popular, let's do a variant where everyone becomes Venom. Because one Venom's popular, let's add 72 of them.
Right.
That's not why he's popular. No. And just cloning it onto someone else is not going to make that character popular.
And the other thing they do, they love to force characters down our throats too.
That
like,
too.
Here's Ms. Marvel, you will love her. Well, I don't.
Here's Captain Marvel. Now, same thing.
Yeah.
Because when Captain Marvel was Miss Marvel, she was good.
Interesting. Yeah. I personally agree with Adam. Monica is a much more interesting Captain Marvel than Carol.
Yeah.
But
like, I enjoyed her tenure in the early aughts as like the chairperson of the Avengers in the like Avenger books and other stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, she, I mean, you know our brand here. It's very Tommy Wiseau coded. There was a whole segment in an issue, that one of my favorite exchanges ever. She was leading the Avengers. They were having like a Christmas party, and someone gave her a copy of The Room when she asked for Room with Brie Larson. Joke there, sure, but she's like, "You are aware that this guy is an alien criminal, right? The Guardians of the Galaxy have been looking for him for years."
Nice.
So I do respect Carol. I just, there are other characters that I'm much more interested in.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like when it was like 2012 or something, they did the big push to make her Captain Marvel and did the whole rebranding and stuff, and so that was like after Secret War and the Skrull invasion and Secret Invasion and all that.
Yep.
I'm trying to like place it exactly though.
I mean, I'm not going to be that anal.
Anyway, yeah. It. But she had a lot of good stories around that time.
Yeah.
And then they just wanted to force her and like rebrand because they felt bad that they felt bad because DC has Wonder Woman as like one of the big three, as it were.
Yeah, well, because people cared about Wonder Woman. Honestly.
Exactly, and Marvel's big three was Spider-Man and Spider-Man and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And then they tried to, with the Avengers movies, like make it that Cap, Thor, Iron Man
Trinity
bit, and then they were like, oh wait, no, we can't do that. We need to have like a Wonder Woman analog.
Yeah, so... must tick boxes, must have female.
Yeah.
Bonus points if gay.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's not how storytelling works, people. Like, anybody, any writer of, like, regardless of background in any way, shape, or form, is going to tell you, you got to write the story that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Ticking boxes that's not diversity. That's just shoehorning.
Yeah.
Pandering, really.
But it was funny, like, they rebranded her comic, and that was in 2012, and by 4 years later in 2016, they've already canceled and rebooted it like 5 times.
Yeah,
because it just never made sales.
You can't force sales. I mean, that's the bottom line. Like, creatively, any creative medium, you can't force something to sell.
Yeah.
Ever.
And then completely misunderstanding certain characters and essentially trying to get those tick boxes and fundamentally flawed use of characters. Like, legacy characters are fine, but when they replaced Wolverine with X-23,
Girlverine.
That's not the point. The whole point was she was a clone of Wolverine and she wanted to be unique. She wanted to be different.
Right.
And by forcing her to be that legacy character kind of showed just a fundamental misunderstanding of who the character was.
Right. And Blink, you bring up the Spider-Man, Iron Man, Hulk trilogy or Trinity. To some extent, but from a sales perspective, Iron Man and Hulk were not doing well at that point. For a long time, it was just Spider-Man, and Spider-Man. That's all. Like that. Those were the only books we were moving.
I will say, prior to 2008, when Iron Man came out, and then that, like, the movies and stuff.
Yeah.
Hulk definitely would have been Marvel's.
Yes. Right around character. Between Civil War and like World War Hulk. Yeah. Like, he was actually doing pretty okay. But again, got.
I'm not talking about just comic sales. I was talking about just like pop culture.
Pop culture awareness. Yeah.
Yeah. In which case, like, Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman were very well-known characters, even outside of comic books.
Right. People recognized them instantly. where
Yeah.
Spider-Man
Marvel didn't really have anyone outside of Spider-Man
and
maybe Hulk.
Maybe Hulk, yeah.
Hulk, though, yeah, with the Lou Ferrigno in the '80s, at least had a whole bunch of recognition because that was a fairly popular show,
Right.
That kind of stuck around, like just the image and the like a lot of the.
Yeah, like I grew up knowing who Hulk was. I mean, Mr. Rogers freaking covered Hulk.
Yeah.
You know, he Lou Ferrigno appeared on the Mr. Rogers show, and it was one of the best episodes that Fred Rogers ever did. Oops. Oh, come on. Get out of there. This is one of the worst parts of GW paints is they get clogged in the back end.
Oh, yeah.
And you have to, like, rip out this gummy, nasty paint periodically to get the paint pot to close again. I actually got it.
And if you
time.
don't get it properly, it'll dry out, and then you don't have a paint anymore.
Instantly, yeah. But I actually managed to save my lead belcher. It is now completely closed again for the first time in eons. So that's a good thing. Why did I paint that red? That was stupid. I must have thought this was a hat and painted it red.
What is it?
It's the end of a blunderbuss.
Nice. Did you paint it on sprue or something?
No. I'm sure I painted it last stream. I just wasn't thinking. Let me get some black. Nope. Which one is it? Yeah. Is that one? Not afraid to challenge the prevailing fashions, RPD. It's the what I had in mind that I'm challenging here. Now this guy does have a little bit of weathering because he's been on my workbench for years, literally years at this point. Just patch him up real quick. All right, now I got to actually take a good long look at these and figure out what the heck is going like. Okay, is it that easy? It might be that easy. Actually, straight up go with this matte brown. Yeah, that'll work. Loving that. All right, cool. So I'm using what is effectively Mornfang Brown on the like stock of the blunderbusses here. I'm actually pretty happy with it. Bit of a gamble. Wasn't sure exactly how it was going to pan out, but I'm not disappointed. I know precious little about firearms, being not raised in that sort of culture in any way. But so quite often I get taken to task on, well, hey, this gun that you painted doesn't really make any sense. And I'm like, you know what? I don't care. It gets the job done, and that's all I'm concerned with. And you just lost the game to it, so. By the way, you just lost the game.
Damn it.
Ain't I a stinker?
Now, I'm not entirely, like, incredibly knowledgeable about guns, but I have a fair amount of working knowledge about them.
Yeah, working knowledge I can claim, but, like, I've never fired a gun. I've never held a gun, even.
I was going to say, I've gone shooting, like, and I have experience handling and using, but for minis and stuff like that, I'm just like, I'm just going to use just lead belcher. It'll just be silver. That'll be fine.
Yep.
I know it won't look like a lot of pistols or whatever, but it gets the point across.
Exactly. Exactly. Like, I'm just like, I know there's wood parts and I know there's metal parts and I know roughly where they are in these sort of high fantasy medieval sort of firearms. That's where we're at with it. And also, these guys are rank and file. Like, they're not centerpiece minis anyway. Like, this guy I'll take a little bit more time on. Like, he's, you know, the various pieces, components of his firearm are a little bit more detailed, a little bit more visible, so it's easier to pick them out. Also, I've got this bit that'll it's like it's a football that fires out of the muzzle of his gun. That'll be on a magnet, so that he can play in both Blood Bowl and Old World. Goodness knows I don't need him firing footballs around the actual battlefield.
I think it'd be really effective.
Maybe, but not as effective as a bullet or a chunk of warpstone, as the case may be.
I was about to say it's a blunderbuss. It's a chunk of whatever it fits inside.
Yeah. It's usually a chunk of warpstone in this case. Chaos Dwarfs accidentally discovered warpstone when they killed a bunch of Skaven. And they were like, ooh, shiny green thing. Make demon go nuts? Yes, let's play. RPD has a very good point. Footballs are for alleyways. RPD, I don't know if I ever told you this. My cousin got married. I know he had a kid. Got married over the summer. And part of his wedding was to play Tuxedo Alley football. And I was like, dude, like, much respect to your pop culture references. I get that. You know, it's me. But maybe take your wedding a little bit more seriously. I have not actually heard from him properly since his kid was born, so... I did text him and say, hey, congratulations, but I didn't hear anything back. I was like, bro. But I guess, like, honestly, I think that's maybe a good thing that I haven't heard from him. Like, maybe it means he's focused on raising his kid. As I hope it does. Because I will say it until I'm blue in the face. Raising my child has been the most transformative and delightful experience of my life. I wouldn't trade it for anything. Cool. Alright, let's bust out that gold again. In the last 15 minutes, let's see if we can get these ready for inking.
Wait, what? Holy cow.
Yeah. Yeah, we're here. Well, he got his mother, who is a minister. But I can confirm she's not an Elvis impersonator. My kid is sleeping with her leg out of the crib rails. Weird. She's an odd child. She's my child. I guess it makes sense.
So, did I tell you they announced the new set of Marvel Champions?
You mentioned that they announced it, but I don't think you told me what is actually in it.
It's Shield.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So the campaign is focused on AIM.
Okay.
With like MODOK as the big villain at the end.
Okay.
And the two heroes in the box are Maria Hill and Nick Fury.
Okay, I had seen that. That must have come across my feed. I saw Maria Hill and I was very excited about that. I like Maria Hill a lot. What I would like to know is Timothy Dugan in the game now?
Dum Dum Dugan?
Dum Dum Dugan.
Not as a hero yet.
No, that's okay. Just as a card.
He's been super shafted. I have disliked how he got treated in the comics in the mid-aughts when they created Maria Hill.
Yeah. They
kind of replaced him with her, and he just kind of fell off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
Which was a shame, because I really liked him. He was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I like him a lot. And I love who they cast to play him in the MCU.
Oh, yeah, he was great. In
Neil
Captain
McDonough,
America.
What a guy. And then he goes on to play Damien Dark in Legends of Tomorrow and Arrow. Just shows the range of that guy.
Mm-hmm.
It comes out. I had a weird hankering today to play Super Smash Brothers. I hate that game usually. Mostly because I'm terrible at it.
I really like it. I play it with my nephew when I can.
Well, I think that's
not as often as I would like to, but
yeah, like I think that's what I want I want to play Super Smash Brothers with someone like that I enjoy playing games with, and I didn't have that today. I was just I mean, I didn't play it. just like, oh, I want to play Super Smash Brothers, and then didn't. Although I would love to go back and play the original Super Smash Brothers again.
Mm-hmm.
And while I do have a N64 behind me, I don't have that game.
It's on Nintendo Switch Online.
Is it?
I think so.
I thought for sure it wasn't. But if it is, I can happily jump in and play it there. I'll have to check. Because that was my thought, is like, oh, maybe it's on Switch Online. And I was like, I don't feel like getting up and checking.
I do have, like, it's not hooked up, but I do have a N64 with Smash Brothers still.
Yeah. Mine's it's right there. I've got Ocarina of Time in the drive right now. Which I'm not particularly far into. Ocarina is one of those games I've played it so many times, maybe not beaten it so many times, but I've played it so many times that I'm just like, whatever. Pick my way through it. I'm not like my friend Colin, who would just play it until he dropped dead over and over without stopping.
Like me and Mario.
Which Mario?
Any of them.
Yeah, fair.
I used to make a point of at least once a year running through 64 and like all of them, the 3D ones, because
okay.
Like I'm at the point it doesn't take me too long to get through all of it, but
yeah, I Mario 3 has always been my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
I just like the way that one plays. Really enjoyed playing Mario Wonder. I stalled out a little bit on just the super annoying level that I just don't feel like finishing at this point. It's one of the rhythm ones.
Yeah.
Where the rhythm changes and you're climbing the hill. You probably know which one I'm talking about.
I know vaguely like of the levels that you were talking about, because there's definitely more than one, but
yeah. There's one that's just like an egregious climb. And I can get to the very end, and I just miss the jump every single time, and then it starts to hurt my hand, and I get PO'd. So I'm just like, you know what? There's no reason to finish this. The game is over. I've beaten it. This is just extra stuff at this point. So why am I bothering? And I'm starting to get to that point with Final Fantasy also. Like, I love it. It's a lot of fun. There's some stuff I'd like to see finished to the end, but I don't feel the need to finish everything.
Understandable.
They baked way too many mini games into Final Fantasy Rebirth. They baked an entire Mario Kart game in.
Mario Kart game?
Kart,
okay.
They have Chocobo Racing.
Yeah.
And it's like actually good. It's a straight up Mario Kart. And but without, like, it's like a stripped down, straightforward Mario Kart. And the handling is really good. Like, I genuinely found myself saying, boy, I wish the Grand Tour game handled like this.
Oh, the one for the phone.
No, the Xbox. I played it on stream a long time ago. RPD was there.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about it like the Mario Kart World Tour for the phone.
Oh no. I wish I. Sorry, no. Oh, I see. Oh, sorry. Yeah, no. Marvel is it's late. Zach and Mike are both fried and trying to keep up with each other.
So we had snow yesterday.
Lucky.
And it's pretty much gone.
That tracks. We had snow before Christmas, and now it is gone. But God's
ended up getting sent home early from work yesterday.
Because lack of infrastructure to handle it.
Yeah.
It always baffles me as, like, you know, school gets canceled if we have a foot of snow or more, you know, where we are. Where down south, down south, everybody's like, "Oh no, snow, panic," and everybody up here is like, "Ha ha ha, you're dumb," and it's like, no, they just don't like. There's no need to invest in that infrastructure. I mean, well, maybe there probably is, but like,
our snow plows are just pickup trucks that they attach the plow part to.
I mean, that's what we have too, but the drivers are, you know, trained to deal with this. Like it's a specific type of driving that needs to be done. It's not
like when I lived up in Chicago, the plow trucks were the size of dump trucks and
I mean
garbage trucks. Like they were huge.
The highway department trucks have those, but yeah.
Oh bugger! Oh well.
Yep, we're definitely at that phase of the night. Oh, messed up. Oh well, don't care.
I'll just paint over it and.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I love about what I'm doing right now. Like a lot of it's very sloppy. Just the base layer stuff. Base coat. That's another one done.
Maybe that color.
Today we ask the age-old question: is it the right color? Close enough.
Yeah, his staff has the ends that aren't the energy bits. They have kind of that off-white wrappings around it for handles. So I was just trying to, do I go with brain matter beige or skeleton bone for my off-white color?
Sure. I made one last time for the horns of this one dwarf that I've got over here, and I was really happy with it. Unfortunately, I'll never be able to recreate it, so fortunately, he's the only one with those horns that I have on my workbench at the moment.
I was going to say, if that's the case, I literally have an ivory color that I would use for that.
Oh, I do too. I think I was just fooling around.
Yeah.
I think I had some paint left over from something else, and then just like, let's use up some of this. Combine it with this other thing.
Ivory is just my normal build up from the super light gray to the ivory to the white to try and do white clothing because it sucks.
Yeah, white clothing is awful. I mean, case in point, Kingpin.
Mm-hmm. I'm still like, I was actually just earlier today staring at my Emma Frost that I haven't painted.
Yeah.
Because it's
just God, yeah.
pile of shame. Yeah, I'm just like, no.
That's
I'll get to
flesh.
that at some point in time.
Flesh and white.
Yep.
Yeah, she's always on my nope list. I printed her a long time ago. There was a time when I was almost caught up on printing C27 minis.
Mm-hmm.
And then I wasn't. And also then I didn't care about all of them either.
I'm just running out of place to store all my minis, which is annoying.
Yeah, I'm running into that also.
Problematic as well, because I would love to still fire up my printers, because I haven't printed anything in at least 2 years.
Yeah.
Because I have a lot of files for a lot of cool terrain and stuff that I'd like to use.
Oh my god,
for.
Right?
That's like, yeah, it's like I've got Mos Eisley and I've got Gotham City. It came with the police blimp.
Right.
Like I could one of those out, and I want it. But where would I put it? And
I mean, because we stream their stuff, C27 bumped our subscription up to platinum, so we get everything.
Nice.
And I don't think I've printed a single piece of terrain. No, I have. I've printed 2 pieces of random cosmic terrain that are just in my display case to elevate that layer, so I can fit more in there. And I have the Quick Stop Convenience and RST Video from Corvus Terrain, which are pretty cool too. But I don't have Jay and Silent Bob to go with them. I have STLs for them. I've just never printed them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a place to put them. Strictly speaking, I don't have a place to put the Marvel ones either, but keep finding space. All right. One more.
Where did I put that brown? There we go. I'm almost done with base coating.
Yep. Same.
And I got to do so much extra layers, and because he's technically covered in fur, which is annoying.
Oh, that's fur is such a pain.
And he has stripes, and because with fur, like the darker fur is on the upper side, not the underside. So I've got to do like a lighter on the underside of his arms and everything, which is just backwards to what normally you do.
Yep. The difference, I mean, batch painting is, I don't like it. I don't enjoy it. It's not as fun as painting single characters. Because they just invariably do not come out to the same level.
Nope.
And that's why these Chaos Dwarfs have sat on my workbench for as long as they have. It's like, I just don't want to do them. I've got more too. Like, I'm not done after this. I'm gonna have to do all the Blood Bowl ones. And it's the same technique over and over and over again. But I'll be happy to have these on the display shelf at the store and out of my sight. And maybe get a game or two in with them. That'd be nice. All right. I do believe, against all odds, that is base coating done on the Chaos Dwarfs.
That's good.
But I will save applying Nuln Oil, etc. for next time. I'm also going to get some ink washing done on the hobgoblins that have been kicking around. They're waiting for it too. I might finish up base coating the War Machine operators that I've got kicking around. It's only like 2 colors left for them, so shouldn't be too big an issue. And there's only like 3 of them, so that's not a big deal either. I do have these finished. Like these are my reference models. These are some War Machine operators that I'm actually really happy with them. They came out great. This guy especially. It's just really indicative of what I try to accomplish with the Chaos Dwarfs. But oh my god, the YouTube is playing ads again. Stop talking YouTube Premium. I don't care. All right. Well, with that, I think we will cut over to here and say thank you all for joining us tonight on Watching Paint Dry. This has been a lot of fun. It's good to be back. Boy, what a range of conversation tonight. I will be back on Monday, provided everything goes swimmingly, as I see no reason why it wouldn't. It's just a regular Monday night for me to play Guacamelee 2, and hopefully again on Friday. I mean, Broody and I will talk about it. We might do NSYNC. We might I might do more Guacamelee. So who knows? We'll give you as much notice as we can. For now, I got to get to bed. Take care. Be safe. Be well.
Real quick.
Oh, yes, please.
Also say next week I'm out of town because of Martin Luther King Day with a 3-day weekend.
Yep. 3-day
So
weekend.
I will be gone Friday. So that definitely.
Okay. So no NSYNC this week. And then of course, painting will be off this week or the next weekend as well. And I actually have something going on, I think, next weekend too. So yeah, Guacamelee this week and no painting next week. Take care, everybody. Be safe, be well. We'll talk soon. Bye.
See ya.